Welcome everyone, especially our special guests, Susie and Sebastian. Thank you for your courage and your grace today. All the IndyCar drivers, thank you for being here. We're so excited for you guys to return here in 2 weeks and get back into action here on the streets of St. Petersburg. And again, welcome back. City Council and Mayor Foster, thank you for all that you do for the Honda Grand Prix. We have Randy Bernard, CEO of IndyCar, Kim Green, Green Savvy Racing Promotions, and T. McHale from American Honda. I'd like to start off by talking about Turn 10 here. It's a special location for us. It's a special day. It's a special occasion to honor Dan. There's been other tributes to Dan already, and there'll be more in the future. We struggled a bit. We were challenged. The number of ideas and suggestions that have come to us on ways to pay tribute to Dan has just been overwhelming. And we assembled a group of representatives from all our stakeholders, the City of St. Petersburg, American Honda, IndyCar, and the family, and decided that there was going to be a handful of events and ways to pay tribute to Dan. And so we're really challenged with doing a number of the things the right way and limiting them to the right things. So today is one of those special occasions that we thought was completely right and appropriate. So thank you for being here for this occasion and a way to pay tribute to not only a race champion, but a friend, and more importantly, a husband and a father. The thing about Turn 10 is it's our signature turn. It's a picturesque view of our beautiful downtown waterfront. It's probably one of the best competitive turns that we have on the racetrack. You can ask the drivers about that. It's just a beautiful setting here, not only for race weekend, but on a year-round basis. So we thought it appropriate to have this occasion here and have this unveiling today. It has special relevance to Dan, as this was the turn that he passed in 2005, I think, thanks to TK. Sorry, Mr. Briscoe. And won our race in 2005 and became our race champion. And that evening, I recall Dan jumping into the yacht basin here off of one of the yachts, and it was just a tremendous weekend, and we'll forever have those memories of Dan here. And so welcome to Turn 10, and welcome to this special occasion. And first of all, I'd like to bring up Mr. Randy Bernard, say a few words.
Well, good afternoon. Well, not only did Dan not only leave his indelible mark on the world of racing, but he also left it here in St. Petersburg. As Tim just mentioned, winning the very first ISL IndyCar Series race here. But more importantly is what he was to the community here. His warm and exuberant personality showed through every day here, and it was very important for him to be a part of this community. But today, IndyCar, the drivers, the Holman George family, everyone involved is honored to celebrate the community, with the community, to remember Dan at this very special dedication. So today, IndyCar is here to celebrate Dan. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Next up, I'd like to invite Kim Green, one of the co-owners of the event here, and Green Savvy Racing Promotions. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. I mean, mentioning Dan's name brings back memories of a young driver in 2001 that would wander into our hospitality area at the racetracks. He was racing Indy Lights and Formula 2000 in previous years, and I'm sure he was doing it with every other hospitality unit at the race venues. He's looking for a driver. He said, "I want to drive your car, Mr. Green." I said, "Enough of the Mr. Green. Name's Kim, and just great to see you." He presented himself very, very well. And as that went on throughout the year, along with American Honda and Michael Andretti, myself and Kevin Savary, we formed Andretti Green Racing, and we were going to join the IRL. And we were looking for a test driver to run the development work on the new Honda IRL engine. And between ourselves and HPD and Robert Clark and American Honda, we chose Dan. And he did a great job. The next step was we were looking for somebody to take Michael's place when Michael decided to retire at the 2003 Indy 500. And Dan got that nod. And from there on, you could say that Dan got very, very hooked on IndyCar racing, especially the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. His first Indy 500 with us, he was very fast during practice. He was driving the Klein Tools Jim Beam race car, did a great job representing those sponsors. Pole day didn't qualify that well, and he spent the rest of that day coming around negotiating and talking and trying to get Michael, Kevin and myself to let him withdraw his car and have another go for the front row. And at that point you could tell he was hooked on Indy. He had great teammates in Tony Kanaan and Dario Franchitti. So that year wasn't such a great year, but he went on from there. And to be honest, the rest you can say is history. In 2004, he chased Tony Kanaan for the championship. 2005, started out the season, he won 6 races, including the inaugural race here for the Honda Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. 1, 2, 3, 4, bringing his teammates home, swimming in the bay. And that year, obviously a fantastic year in winning the championship in the Indianapolis 500. Really, I'd like to say on behalf of everybody that worked with Dan at Andretti Green Racing and everybody that's worked with Dan at the Honda Grand Prix of St. Petersburg is, we were honored to work with him. He was a pleasure to work with, a lot of fun to work with, did a fantastic job on the racetrack and off the racetrack. And really to himself and Susie, living here in St. Petersburg, have done so much to support this city and the race. And we just want to thank them very, very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. And next I'd like to bring up T. McHale, Motorsports Manager for American Honda.
Thanks, Tim. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I could speak for much longer than the time we have here about the many ways in which Daniel touched my life and the lives of so many members of my family. But I'm here today to say a few words on behalf of American Honda as title sponsor of the St. Petersburg Grand Prix and a professional home to Daniel since 2003. He was a great friend to our entire company, to so many of the individuals who represent it, and it is no exaggeration to say that we miss him daily. And I can promise you that as long as there's a cube at the office with my name on it, we will continue to do so. It's an honor to represent American Honda at this very appropriate tribute. Once again, many thanks to all of you for joining us.
Thank you for that, T. Next, I'd like to bring up the Honorable Mayor Bill Foster to do the special honors and first say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you all for being here today. This really says a lot about your love and passion for Dan Wheldon. And it wasn't even a year ago that Dan and I were standing over here at the Mojave Theater when he announced that he and Brian Herta were going to join as a team to win the Indianapolis 500. And I don't know a lot about racing. I know I'm a huge fan. I know that I love the open wheel racing. I've been a fan of the Indy Series since going back into the 70s. But I know that with the names of the drivers and with the ownership teams, I know that winning the Indianapolis 500 is an extraordinary feat. And I know that to do so with a brand new team and with limited resources, I knew that it would be even more extraordinary. And yet Dan Wheldon had me as a believer that if anybody could go out with a new team with limited resources and win the greatest spectacle in motor racing, it was going to be Dan Wheldon. And guess what? He did. I know that Dan loved the drivers. I know that he adored the personal relationships with each one of you. I saw it in his eyes, I saw it in his actions, and he told me so. And I know that this city of St. Petersburg, his adopted hometown, loved Dan Wheldon, not as a driver. I mean, that was kind of cool. But we loved Dan Wheldon as a neighbor, as a husband, as a father, and somebody that we could rely upon to do great things in sports. He was a member of my sports alliance here in the city of St. Petersburg that he loved. And he was about so much more than racing. So Susie, and to Susie and the boys, we are honored to be in your presence today. And when I say we, I'd like to acknowledge council members that are here today. We have our chair, Councilmember Leslie Curran. We have our vice chair, Councilmember Wingay Newton. We have Councilmember Charlie Gertis, Councilmember Jeff Danner, Councilmember Bill Dudley. And we are all here today in solidarity to say we love Dan. We love you, Susie. We love the boys, and anything that we can continue to do as a city to raise you up, to lift you up in prayer and support, we will do that. And certainly to Randy and T.E. and Kim and all of those that are making this positive, this permanent memorial to Dan and to this series possible, we say thank you as well. So at this time, it is truly my honor to unveil a sign, and then we'll also turn around some boards that will depict the permanent memorial that will be here at Dan's turn. This is going to be known as Dan's turn.
The other unveiling that we have today, and again in collaboration with all the stakeholders, we're going to be erecting a permanent monument. As you see here depicted there, there'll be a Lionheart Memorial plaque in honor of Dan that'll be placed out here. It'll be placed right here at around the corner here behind the show car trailer that's behind turn 10 here. We'll also have a plaque and a monument on the other side that will have the Honda Grand Prix logo, and we'll be placing plaques in honor of all the race winners in the past. So Ryan and Graham and all of you and Will, Dario, your names will be inscribed up there next to Dan's in the near future. The monuments are being developed, and we'll have an installation date sometime this fall. So we're pleased to unveil this today as another tribute to Dan. And Susie, again, thank you so much for your courage and grace. Would you like to come up? Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I just want to take the opportunity first to just thank my St. Petersburg family for all the love and support over the past several months. I am so proud and blessed to be a part of this community and to be able to call St. Petersburg home, so thank you for that. Also want to thank the city of St. Petersburg, the Honda Grand Prix, and American Honda for just recognizing Dan and honoring him in such a special way today. What a beautiful gift to be part of his legacy and something that we can all cherish for years to come. Sebastian and Oliver will be so proud to know the impact that their father had on this community and the world of motorsports, so thank you. Thank you also to all the drivers for being here, and just to everybody that had a part in making this happen today. Thank you so much. Tim, thank you. Thank you.
Susie, thank you so much. So on a year-round basis, this will forever be known as Dan Wheldon Way. Okay? Go ahead. And Elio, my apologies. You'll be listed up there twice. I saved you the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, this ends the ceremony for the day, and I can't thank you enough for being here. In 2 short weeks from tomorrow, the world's fastest spring break party returns to the streets of St. Petersburg, and we look forward to seeing everybody back here. Thank you so much.